In this WrestleTalk news, does MJF have backstage heat in AEW? Is Cody Rhodes trying to bring him into WWE? Another AEW star leaves the company, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Back on January 1st, 2022, if someone had said to you that AEW co-founder and co-executive vice president Cody Rhodes would not only not re-sign with All Elite Wrestling, but would go back to WWE and be a featured player at WrestleMania and then become one of the company's biggest stars, you'd probably think you had too good of a December 31st, 2021, because that person is talking crazy. But it did happen, and it's important to reference that bizarre news story when we talk about the news that MJF is reportedly unhappy in AEW and has the option of going to WWE when his contract is up in 2024, because anything can happen in this wacky world of wrestling. Fightful Select reported last month that MJF and AEW president Tony Khan had a heated argument that left both men frustrated, with MJF being unhappy about his pay in the company. When MJF first signed with AEW back in 2019, the company was a very different place to what it is now, with no one like a CM Punk or Bryan Danielson presumably signing for a lot more money than some of the AEW originals did. MJF is, of course, now one of AEW's top stars, but he's still on his original contract and will be paid the same as when he signed with the company back in its infancy and not doing the $1 million pay-per-view gate it's doing now. As for TK, he was annoyed that MJF did an interview with Ariel Helwani without informing AEW PR that he was going to do it, which is a lot smaller fish to fry in the grand scheme of things. Last week, Fightful added to their report to say that while TK doesn't hold those frustrations anymore, MJF still might, and was leaning towards leaving AEW when his deal is up in 2024. And according to Will Washington on Fightful's Grapsody podcast, which is a fantastic show by the way, shout out to Righteous Reg and Phil Lindsay as well, there could be some backstage heat on MJF over these discussions, as not a whole lot of people are on MJF's side in this. What it all boils down to is not whether MJF is worth more money, because I think most people would say that he is, it's that he's still in that original deal which cannot be altered. Washington mentions a text message that he was sent by someone in the AEW locker room who said his deal is his deal. Changing the terms of an existing deal while in the middle of it would set a horrible precedent. If he wants new money, sign a new deal. Tony would be a fool to give him more money without the guarantee of more years. SRS confirmed what Will Washington said on Grapsody in his Fightful Select report, that changing the terms of the current deal would set a bad precedent, but that TK would obviously be willing to pay MJF comparable to top other stars when those discussions begin. But there is more to this story yet, including a very weird rumor about Cody Rhodes looking to get MJF to sign with WWE. Thank you for your support on Patreon, Kick to the Face, Get Off My Plane, and Starbucks Stephen Costa. Get your own Patreon shoutout over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. It's no secret that Cody Rhodes and MJF are friends in the real life. He was one of Cody's first big rivalries in All Elite Wrestling, and MJF has been very praising of Rhodes in interviews both before and after he left the company. Even mentioning recently in an interview that they still text all the time, and Cody even offered MJF's parents tickets to a WWE house show in Long Island. What a babyface. Which might go some way to explaining how the following happens. During that Grapsody podcast, where Will Washington revealed the text message he'd received from someone in the AEW locker room, co-host Phil Lindsay noted that MJF and Cody are friends. And somehow that spun a yarn on the Twitter machine that Grapsody were reporting that Cody guys in AEW are unhappy now that he's gone, and Rhodes had been laying the groundwork for folks like MJF and Ricky Starks to move over to WWE. Not only that, but there would be a Fightful Select report later this week that confirmed this. Washington addressed these rumors directly when he saw his name was being mentioned a lot on Twitter and said, "Now that I've seen what folks are saying, let me pump those brakes real hard. Nope, nope, and nope." Never said a word about Cody guys or a report coming out about them. I don't even know about that. Anything that says I said that is completely false. The rumor had gone out of hand so much that Sean Ross Sapp had to address it in his Fightful Select report, saying that to clear up misconceptions, we've not heard of Cody Rhodes reaching out to AEW talent to bring them in, and we have no report of any kind in the works, contrary to online rumors. We've seen this sort of thing happen in our own comment section, and I've had tweets about about this before, asking what I've heard or what I think about news stories that I've never even heard of. Remember, always check your sources, folks, on where the information is coming from. In WrestleTalk news videos, we have them in the video description down below. So where does that leave us with MJF and AEW? MJF did an interview recently with Wrestling, which addressed many of these rumors and reports, saying, "Let me explain something to you. By 2024, Daddy is gonna make a lot more money than the Hardys have made in their entire run. I think all these WWE guys that are making an absurd amount of money, when quite frankly, they can't sniff my jock when it comes to the ratings I pull in whenever I am on screen. I think they can all go to hell. I think somebody in upper management has a problem with me. And it's very obvious if you see what I'm dealing with week to week." Now, of course, it should be noted that a lot of MJF interviews are done in character. I've actually done one of them myself. And this is probably just the man playing up that on-screen character that we've seen on Dynamite, referencing his deal coming up in 2024, saying on last Wednesday's episode that a certain someone in the back doesn't like him talking about his contract, that person being Tony Khan. But it's things like this that have made a lot of people, ourselves included over at the WrestleTalk podcast last Friday, ask if this is all just one big worky McWork face who's just been made professor of working at Oxford University. Well, according to Sean Rossap over at Fightful Select, it's all still very much real. In his latest update, SRS is reporting that no specific contract has been offered to MJF, or that MJF is angling for anything in particular. However, there have been overtures made towards MJF to launch contract talks that MJF hasn't seemed to outright address. He also confirmed that, from MJF's side of things, he isn't trying to get more money without a new deal or an extension on his current deal. As he knows, contracts don't work like that. But while MJF's status in AEW is in question, one name for sure is out the door. MJF signed his AEW contract back in 2019, like a lot of other talent that came into the company for its inception. And some of those talents have recently not had their deals re-upped, extended, or re-signed. Over the past few weeks, we've heard that Marco Stunt, Jack Evans, Stu Grayson of the Dark Order, and Joey Janela have now all left All Elite Wrestling for this very reason. Sean Rossap over at Fightful Select is now reporting that there is a new name to this class, Kayla Rossi. Rossi had been associated with Joey Janela on screen on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, but hasn't been used in months, as neither was Janela. SRS notes that Rossi was never fully signed to All Elite Wrestling, but was offered a trainee contract, which she turned down. And so the two parties have now just parted ways, with Rossi now taking independent bookings. SRS adds that we haven't heard of any bad blood associated with the split. Speaking of bad blood, and hey, do you remember that there used to be a WWE pay-per-view called Bad Blood? You know, the 2004 one had a nearly 50-minute Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Hey, remember that? Oh, speaking of WWE. Segue. Last week at WrestleMania Backlash, there was a promo video to hype up this July's Money in the Bank, where Cody Rhodes said the winner of this year's Money in the Bank would headline WrestleMania, which would be a major change to the match's stipulation. That same promo was played the following night on Raw, so it clearly wasn't an accident. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio last week said that he'd spoken to people within WWE who should know if the stipulation had changed, and they told him they were surprised by the promo. He added, "I asked WWE, and the official statement was, there's no official statement." And in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer added that Vince McMahon has chosen his WrestleMania main eventers for next year, and neither of them are the current planned Money in the Bank winners. Come on, Dave, Vince McMahon planning next year's WrestleMania? Already? Pull the other one, mate. And in a new report from Twitter Wrongin's Ringside News, they've added that their source in the writing room has told them that no one knows why that's being said, and that the promo video has been a major source of confusion with writers and producers. So, I guess, kind of like promoting a title unification match, then not doing it, only to promote another one just 2 weeks later, I'm sure that WWE have got everything in place for Money in the Bank in July. And before we get out of here, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched No Rolls Barred play Blood on the Clocktower in person. It's the biggest and most ambitious video we have ever made, and we're immensely proud of the final product. Huge congratulations to Adam Blompier, Laurie Blake, and the rest of the NRB team on such an excellent video. And thank you for helping them pass 85,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 2,300 Patreon backers who are now able to watch a second Patreon exclusive in-person game. Want to know what the hell I'm talking about? Well, check this out.
So first, Ollie is our Baron.
Baron, nice simple one. There are 2 extra outsiders in play. So we've got a 10-player game. There should be 0 outsiders. As you'll soon learn, we've got 2.
Carly is our Fortune Teller.
Fortune Teller. Each night, select 2 players. You learn if either of them is the demon.